Well, you know, the story of Sacramento really is about the rivers. It is the blessing. It is the reason the city is here. It also is its worst fear. A river that floods the city almost annually, sometimes 2 and 3 times in the same year, becomes a really serious problem, one that's really intolerable. We can't deal with it anymore. So you have a great flood in 1850, and you have several floods in the next 4 or 5 years that happen in the city. And then in 62, 63, they have another horrible flood, probably worse than the flood of 1850. And the city said, enough. We're not going to do this anymore. The county, on the other hand, was also fed up, but they wanted to build levees, and the city wanted to raise its streets. And so they went to the legislature and said, listen, we want to change, amongst other things, the course of the American River. That the city and the county could agree on. And so the legislature gave approval. Before that time, the American River came down and went into a set of bends, tight bends, before it entered the Sacramento. So all that water running out of the Sierras would get caught in those bends, and it would back up in the American, and it would break the levee, usually in what we would call East Sacramento now, near McKinley Park, in that area. And the water would flow down into the city. Up until 1863, the city had been building progressively higher and higher levees to prevent the Sacramento from flowing in. And what happened then is when the American broke, the water flowed down and it created a lake in the city. And then you had to wait till the rivers dropped, and then they would blow a hole in the levee or dig a hole in the levee and drain the city. But until then, it was just like a lake of water. That was one of the solutions they had to find. So in rechanneling the river, the theory behind it was is you take the bend out and you get the Sacramento and American meeting in fairly much like a right angle. And the result of that would be the accelerated water running out of the Sierras would enter into the Sacramento River faster, and therefore it wouldn't have a time to build up and break out. Every major flood in Sacramento has been a rupture of the American River levees, not the Sacramento River levees. So that would be the concept, and they would build the city to resist flooding from the Sacramento by physically raising the streets, which is another whole story. But in the case of the American, by building those straightened out levees and making the river intersect the Sacramento River, the American intersect the Sacramento River, then you had a kind of an artificial process. The river was entering at right angles to the Sacramento River, which essentially meant that if too much water is coming out of the American, it would blow a hole in the Sacramento River on the other side. They'd let Yolo County flood. That was not considered to be nearly as dangerous as having Sacramento flood because there was virtually no population over there at the time. So that was the solution. That solution is not viable, so what they've done is built the Weir system up to the north of us, and when the Sacramento is being overflown by the American River actually flows north and goes out through the Weir when we have exceptionally high water.